2023 brought the Master Ball, Shadow Raids, Roots, and so much more to Pokemon Go. But there was a major problem this year that completely changed the course of the game. In the first few months of the year, the best feature ever, remote raids, were nerfed into oblivion. And since then, nearly every new feature has been a bit of a letdown. Don't get me wrong, we've had some very cool things enter the game, but not really the year we all hoped for and not the one Niantic promised. Which is why I think we're in for an incredible year of massive updates, new features, and a bunch of cool stuff coming in 2024. And these are the top 14 that I'm predicting that I hope we see. For starters, I think a lot of updates that are going to come in this next year are going to be fixes to updates that originally came out in 2023. Like routes. Routes suck. Plain and simple. The feature isn't fun, it's not rewarding, there's no real reason to grind it. But it seems that Pokemon Go has some huge plans with this feature and they're constantly promoting it. So I think in 2024, we see routes go from zero to hero. Like what happened with the Mega Evolution system in April of 2022. I expect routes to get significantly better spawns while you're walking along them. Maybe even higher shiny rates or possibly legendary spawns, like Galarian birds. But I think the biggest change to routes and the best new feature that they could possibly bring will be Wonder Trades. This year, Pokemon Go revealed the brand new character Mateo, who you can only encounter when on a route. Mateo basically allows you to trade one of your gifts for a random one from around the world, which yes, is pretty cool if you're looking for more of the villain encounters, but is also kind of a bust feature. Although, a simple update allowing players to trade Pokemon instead of just gifts would completely change the game. This would be the Wonder Trade update, which is a system that already exists in the main series Pokemon games. The concept is simple. You trade a random Pokemon of your own for a random Pokemon from someone else, somewhere else in the world. And I definitely think we see this feature come to Pokemon Go in 2024. It would make routes more fun and worth doing, and would create a whole new super exciting thing to do in-game. Obviously, there would need to be limitations on what you'd be able to trade, like not allowing regional Pokemon, for example. But even if that did happen, I would still love if this feature came out. Mass item drop. I won't say how I know this. Leaks in the code that have been revealed. But I believe we'll be seeing the ability to mass drop items like incense or lucky eggs coming to Pokemon Go very soon. If you want to drop 20 incense in order to cover an entire day of grinding, you have to go into your inventory, drop an incense, go back in your inventory, drop an incense over and over again until you get to 20. It's a pain in the arse. So in 2024, this should be a super duper easy quality of life update and just a nice little adjustment to make the game more efficient and easier to play. Remote trades. This is consistently the single most requested new feature that I always get. Most people don't have many friends to trade with, especially not from around the world. Everyone wants remote trades, even if it's just for lucky Pokemon. Although I don't honestly think we'll end up getting this feature, Wonder Trades would essentially be that, and I hope we get that, and I think we will. Remote Raid nerf. Nerfing the remote raids was the single worst decision Pokemon Go has ever made, hands down. So I predict in 2024, Niantic comes to their senses and redoes the remote raid pass nerf, but in a good way. They nerf the nerf. I think we see prices of remote raid passes come back down, maybe not all the way down to where they were, but definitely significantly lower from where they are now. And I think we see the daily limit of 5 remote raid passes removed entirely, or adjusted to a more reasonable daily amount like 20. This would do a ton for Pokemon Go and bring a lot of life back into the game. Life that is so desperately needed that was taken away when this nerf went into place. Speed evolution. Every tediously long animation in Pokemon Go can be sped up. The rewards at the end of a raid can be tapped through. Catching Pokemon can be sped up through auto catchers or quick catching. Transferring hundreds of Pokemon only takes a few taps. The trade animation was just recently sped up. Everything has an option to go faster. Except evolving. Evolving Pokemon takes a long time, especially if you're mass evolving during a Spotlight Hour event. And I think in 2024, Pokemon Go continues the trend of speeding the game up and making it more efficient, and makes evolving Pokemon faster and more efficient. I'm saying 2 times faster would be right. Like either you tap and it goes faster, or you hold it down and it goes faster, or whatever, or just speeds up. I definitely think they make this faster. Party play improvements. Like with routes, the new party play feature utterly blows. It doesn't make much of a difference, and it's sort of garbage functionality, and it doesn't really do all that much. And the rewards are bad, it's just not good. But what could be so sick is some sort of team or clan type mechanic added to this feature, kind of like with clans in Clash of Clans. Imagine being able to enter into a team with up to 3 of your other friends and compete against other teams or parties and play in tournaments against people, or local or regional tournaments, or tournaments against people on your friends list, or battles, or whatever that rewards you with cool premium like legendary Pokemon encounters or premium items like raid passes and star pieces. This feature could be so much fun. And I honestly think it will be, because I think Pokemon Go will do a ton of work in 2024 to improve it, because they developed it, they want it to be good, they want players to play it. I think they make some good changes. Jesse and James. The last time you could encounter this diabolical duo was way back in October of 2021, over 2 years ago. After that, they literally never returned, and we have no idea why. And if you were able to get a Shadow Shiny Pokemon from either of them, that is super rare, and you're very lucky to have it. Well, in 2024, I think we see these two and the iconic Meowth balloon return. And I have no idea how or why, but I think they make a big comeback, and I think it's going to be super fun. And if these do come back, pay attention, get the Shadow Shiny if you can, because who knows when they'll ever come back again after that. Breeding. Breeding is the process of making two Pokemon fall in love, which produces an egg that will hatch into that same exact Pokemon or the baby version of it. It's a super popular and fundamental concept in the main series Pokemon games, and one of the main shiny hunting methods, since egg shiny rates are typically higher, and it makes hunting a specific Pokemon a bit easier. Well, since Pokemon GO effectively killed raid battles, which was the main driver of revenue for the game, I think that they're desperately looking for more ways to generate more revenue. And what's the only other premium method of hunting Pokemon in Pokemon GO that's very expensive to do? Well, it's eggs. And I think in 2024, Pokemon GO is going to really incentivize egg hatching and egg hunting more than ever before. And in my opinion, the only way to effectively do that is through breeding. This would be a revolutionary update in Pokemon GO because for the first time ever, it would allow players to specifically hunt certain Pokemon in the eggs. Right now, eggs can be thought of as like sort of a loot box. You know generally what you could hatch, but you never know what exactly is going to pop out. And forget about trying to hunt specific shiny Pokemon in the eggs. It's utterly futile. So by introducing breeding into the game, it would make hunting and hatching eggs way more fun, way more strategic, and way more worth it. Want a shiny Riolu? Breed 2 Lucario and hatch eggs until you get one. Need a good IV Larvesta? Breed 2 of those. Keep hatching eggs until you get one. This would be so fun, incentivize players to spend, and get people outside walking around playing. It literally checks all the boxes Niantic cares about. It's perfect, and I think it's going to be one of the main features in 2024. Unranked play in Go Battle League. The Go Battle League has steadily increased in popularity for years, and Niantic continues to push players into it and feature Go Battle League relevant Pokemon in events. But there's a huge problem with the league right now. If you want to test out new teams, Pokemon, or just practice your skills, there's no way to do that without directly impacting your rank. The Go Battle League has no unranked play, which is honestly insane considering every single competitive video game nowadays has some sort of separation between ranked and casual play. This makes the games just more fun to play and less stressful to grind and practice on. So in an attempt to keep players battling and keep new people coming into the Go Battle League, I think they bring this feature into the game. It's a no-brainer. Shiny Galarian Birds. The Daily Incense was released in July of 2022, and since then, absolutely nothing has changed. It's been the same spawns with the same rates and the same everything. It's the same thing. So to spice the feature up, because I think it really needs it, I think the Shiny Galarian Birds will be released in 2024. Now, I'm not exactly sure how big of a difference this would realistically make, considering finding the Galarian Birds in general is just impossible, so finding a shiny variant will probably be way harder to do. But I don't know, maybe if you find a wild shiny, it's a guaranteed catch rate, it just takes a lot of balls to get, which would make getting these much better and easier. Either way, there's got to be something with the Daily Incense in 2024. We got to have that shaken up. Solo Ready Up. In 2023, an amazing new feature was added, the Ready Up button in raids. In lobbies with 2 or more people, you can ready up and cut the raid timer down to 10 seconds. This is an absolutely necessary update and one that would have been amazing years ago during all the remote raid stuff. Well, there's one caveat to this feature. Can't use it if you're solo raiding. And I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe to prevent players from accidentally readying up in a raid lobby that they can't take down. My mouth stopped working, but at that point you can just leave the raid, right? Makes no sense. Well, this is super annoying for a lot of players who just go out to battle 1-star raids and are not able to ready up and skip that timer. But if you have a second person with you, you could do that. It makes no sense. So for 2024, it would just be a super duper easy quality of life update to allow solo players to ready up in raids. New ball. In 2022, we got the brand new Beast Ball. In 2023, we got the iconic Master Ball. So I think in 2024, we're going to see one more ball join the fray. And if you didn't know, there's actually tons of different Pokeballs that players have access to in the main series games. From the Love Ball, to the Safari Ball, to the Luxury Ball, to the Quick Ball. There are so many cool choices that all do slightly different and cool things. Imagine we had a Quick Ball that, when thrown, automatically catches the Pokemon super fast while skipping the animation, making catching Pokemon nearly as quick as quick catching Pokemon. That'd be sick! Or a Dive Ball that makes catching Water-type Pokemon easier. Or a Dusk Ball that brings up your catch rate when catching Pokemon at night. There's so many different concepts that would be really, really fun to see in Pokemon GO and bring a bit of pizzazz to the game. And I think we see one more in 2024. And I predicted this last year, and I'm going to predict it again this year. Level 60. The level cap increased for the first time in November of 2020 to level 50, which was over 3 years ago. Since then, so many players have reached their way all the way up to level 50, and although I know most people haven't done it, a lot have. And giving an extra 10 levels 3 years later seems like the perfect time to do it. The levels between 40 and 50 introduced a new level up concept, which were level challenges, so I think levels 50 to 60 will effectively be the same thing, except the challenges will be just a little bit more or a lot more difficult. And again, this is something that I absolutely see coming into 2024 because, as I stated in the beginning of the video, the game really needs some super big, super engaging, and super exciting things after the kind of flop year we had in 2023. And an increase in level cap would do just that. Let me know what features you think are coming out this year, and I'll see you all in the next video. Check out the other videos on screen.